Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It's barely afternoon, just exactly at 12. That is some perfect planning right there. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you are out enjoying this beautiful fall weather. Oh, my goodness.
While listening to us, of course.
Of course. Outside enjoying some K4CO Radio music. And I am so pleased to have this interview. I've been pretty excited about this one. We are joined with Talia Bond with PostNet. Yay. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me.
Absolutely. Yes. It's been wonderful to get just to hear about you in the community. It's amazing when it overlaps. You know, we met just face to face last week.
Yeah.
And every place I go, they're like, we love her. She's an ambassador. She's doing so much in the community. I'm like, I love it when I get to meet people that are changing the world.
Yeah, it's great to be in the community, and a community that supports, entrepreneurs and that want to help, and they are very authentic about it. So,
very true. You're in the right state.
Yes.
Yeah. The running joke is, we hear this from a lot of entrepreneurs saying, well, you moved to Colorado and you better start a nonprofit, because it's just an automatic kind of transition. Well, tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been in Colorado. I'd love to hear about, your journey.
Oh, thank you. I've been here in Colorado for 30 years now. So it's more years than in my country of birth, that is Peru. I came at 25, and I first came to New York, and it was February, and it was cold, and it was not a good place for me to be at. And I didn't last but 2 weeks, maybe.
That's awesome. Yeah, from Peru?
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes, right. Where I lived in Lima, it's about, 60, 70 degrees. It's more like a desert in Lima, but it's still warm. It doesn't snow. So I went right in February in New York, and it was tough.
And what year was this?
This is 93.
93, okay.
Yeah. And it was 93 when also New York, or in the area that I lived, that I lived for those 2 weeks, which was Queens, was very dangerous. And I remember taking the bus, or the train for the very first time there, and jumping in. It was packed. I felt like I was in Lima. I'm like, okay, this is kind of similar. Just all packed there, like sardines. And somebody then says, you have to get $1 out of your jacket and give it to this guy. And there was a guy that jumped into the train, and maybe this is not a great story about New York, but that was then. So he had a knife, and he was a regular on that particular train at that particular time. So everybody need to have $1 and give it to him, and he'll leave you alone.
He was the landlord of the train. Right.
He was probably the landlord of the train. Okay. So I said, okay, I think I want to get out of New York. And a cousin of mine invited me to come to Denver. And he said, well, if you don't like Denver, you can go wherever you want. And I was 25. And to give that ticket to a young person like that, right, like freedom, I was like, sign me in. And I came to Denver, and I loved it.
Oh, Denver in the 90s. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Right?
Yeah.
It
amazing.
was amazing, right? Even though it was cold, and it was great. It was still there are things have changed. The city has evolved, but definitely it gave me a wonderful impression when I just joined Denver then.
Nice.
And, so then, a year later, I met this guy that worked at Blockbuster. It was a customer service guy, and started, asking me, not even asking me my name, but just saying, hey, what kind of movie you want to watch?
I don't need your name. I just want to go out with you.
That's right. Just I don't know your name. And then later on, I asked him, why you never asked my name? And he was like, well, it was on the computer. I'm like, oh, because he was the customer service guy. So, so then, I'm still married to that guy now.
That's amazing. Okay. You just summed up every guy, on planet Earth. They just jump right to, hey, you want to go out?
Yeah, it's like, come on.
He knows your name now, right?
Yeah, now, yes.
All right. Just took a while.
Oh my God. It's just interesting, those stories, because Latinos, usually out in our culture, right? The guy usually will say, hey, like, what's your name? Let's go out, But I will go to the store and he will not ask my name. Mm-hmm. He will just say, I have a movie for you that you may want to watch, right?
Maybe he was intimidated maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
He just got really flustered.
Well, later on he said that he nicknamed me. The nickname was the video lady. Okay. So I would go there once a week. And because my card was with my cousin's card, he thought I was married.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Until one day his friend said, well, because I stopped going. I said, I am not going to go anymore to this store because this guy never asked my name. He's just showing me movies and like, I'm bored.
I love it.
So I stopped going. Like I went to King Soopers across the street to rent my movies for 6 months. And then another year passed by and then I see this guy outside. My cousin goes, let's just go to Blockbuster. And so we park and he was there, like removing the snow outside. And I'm like, oh, jeez, I hope he doesn't. And so we go in there and he saw me immediately, and he's like, oh, like I haven't seen you. And so I'm like, yeah. And and the next day he calls and then I get a phone call. Okay, so mind you, this is my first year in Denver. I work a lot. As soon as I got here, I worked like a lot. We were hard workers, right? Mm-hmm. And so I work at this Peruvian restaurant from every day, and I only had one day off. So I get there at 9 a.m. I left like 9 p.m. or something. And anyway, so that one day off was for me to wash my clothes, be home, put my feet up, watch the movie, right? And so this day, I don't have friends. So there's the phone rings and my cousin says, yeah, and then they said Talia or Talia, right? And then he's like, you got a phone call. And I'm like, who's going to call me? I don't have friends. And I thought it was my attorney because I was trying to figure out and so he starts talking and of course he's, American and I'm thinking he's my attorney. And then suddenly something like didn't click. And I said, who am I talking to? And he said, well, this is the video guy.
Nice.
Like, oh. So how did you get my number? That's stalking today in today's day.
In today's world, yeah, exactly.
He said, from the computer. Oh, so later on when I asked him, well, you never asked my name. He's like, I always knew your name. Right. Why will I ask you if I knew your name?
I just wanted to call you the video lady. The video lady, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Speaking of your name, and I've heard it pronounced several different ways. It's so beautiful both ways.
Thank you.
Which way do you prefer?
Thank you. My mother calls me Talia.
Okay.
That is my name.
Okay, Talia.
What happened was that I came to the U.S. and when Americans, right, will see my name, they will read it Talia. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I loved it, right? I completely loved it. And my Matt, he will call me Talia in the beginning. And then he said, what is it really? And I said, it's Talia. And so he'll say, why you didn't correct me? And I said, because I like Talia. And so
well, it really is up to you then.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The problem was that his family, everybody that is close to me will call me my name, which is Talia, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. His family, everybody learned to pronounce my name correctly. And then I became an entrepreneur 7 years ago. And then I am here on this side of town, right? And everybody calls me Talia. Mm-hmm. And I love it. And so one day we're having a family event in my house that is a 90th year birthday for my father-in-law. He's a pastor. He was a pastor in a Lutheran church or something. But all his friends came over for this party. Mm. And they are all Americans. And so people will see my name in the house and like, what's your name? Talia. And my mother-in-law catches that and she goes, who's Talia?
Okay. Exactly. Another person.
And I was so embarrassed. And I said, well, people call me Talia. And she said, but it's not Talia, it's Talia. And so this friend said, well, she's trying to rebrand. I'm like, okay.
Rebranding, I like it. There we go.
You can reinvent.
Yeah.
It can reinvent.
You can reinvent yourself all of the time.
That's right. So call me however you please.
I'm going to call you a video lady.
I know.
That's right.
I think that's reserved for her husband.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But I worked at Blockbuster.
That's
You did?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why your face looked familiar.
Maybe.
Were you on Colorado Boulevard?
Colorado Boulevard.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously?
Seriously. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I worked right by Yale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
you
my
don't-
face hasn't really changed since
No.
that school.
I'm like, this face is so familiar.
Oh, that's amazing.
6 degrees of separation.
Yes, that's amazing.
Awesome.
Well, I want to hear a little bit about how, PostNet is amazing.
Yes.
And so you started off in the restaurant business.
Yes.
So what led you to PostNet? I'm curious what that journey was.
Yes. So in the beginning, I worked in the restaurant industry and I loved it. And then I came from Peru with a degree. I am a social worker in Peru.
Okay.
And I came here, like all of us have to work all kinds of odd jobs. And I did restaurant, I waited tables, I cleaned, I did all these things. And then I started to feel confident enough to say, okay, I need to progress in my own career development, right? So I then got a job for a telecommunications company. MCI was in those times. I don't know if you recall that name. So I work in a call center environment, customer service, and then I start being, then I got promoted into management. And then I got married, but then the late 90s, then the economy didn't go well. So all these telecommunications company went belly up. And that was a burst then. So then I got a job for a big corporation called Iron Mountain, which is a document management solutions company, and it's a global company. And I was in management there, and it was great. My department, I was in charge of all document management for all the hospitals in Colorado. So in those times, paper was important, right? And so we had transportation, we had customer service, we have, the people will pull the medical records and put them into the cars, and then it will go to St. Joseph, or it will go to, Children's Hospital or whatever the contract was. And then technology changes, and then paper starts going away. And so all these medical charts, you find out that you can scan them and put them into the cloud. And it's easier for the hospitals to actually get the information for their patients right away. So then the hospitals also, they get smarter in costs, effectiveness, economies of scales, and they say, we can do this internally too. So we don't need companies like Iron Mountain to do that job. So then Iron Mountain loses the contract, and all the hospitals decided to take everything in-house. In about, overnight, 40 people lose their jobs, right? And so I said, okay, what am I going to do now? I was working for Iron Mountain for almost 7 years, and it was a good job, and I loved it, and it was great, and challenge, and I learned a lot. I had great mentors. And by the way, during this time before that, I went to Regis University and I got a master's. I went to school and I got a master's in business with emphasis in marketing. And I was trying to use that at Iron Mountain, but Iron Mountain was more operations. And so anyway, so then I lose my job, and my husband says, okay, well, you just need to find another job.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. What is, right? It's a no-brainer. The thing is that I was so depressed, right? And you go through these emotions when you get laid off. And we had 2 kids, we had a mortgage, we had all these things. And then at that point, you're making some salary, right? Because you are growing into the company. And when I'm looking for jobs, guess what happens? they are offering you, $17 an hour. And I'm like, what? And there were not that many jobs also during that year. And so, and again, I was going through this emotional roller coaster that didn't know what to do. And the good news was that I was always very, a very outgoing, friendly individual, right? And I had all sorts of friends that I built through my years here. And one friend of mine became a director for the Minority Business Office for the state of Colorado. And she said, why don't you come and help me out? And I said, doing what? And she's like, well, you can be a consultant for small businesses. And I said, well, I don't know anything about that. And she goes, you can learn. I know you can, And that was the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur. Why? Because doing that job and helping other small business owners in Colorado, especially in the construction industry, was, the most opening the door to what an entrepreneur goes through every day, right? And the struggles and what they are being stretched to do things that they go after what they believe. And I was just a corporate gal for like almost 20 years. But when I see these people like, yeah, I can do construction, I can paint walls, I'm going to start my business. I don't speak English, but I can do all this. I was so totally inspired by that. And we went throughout Colorado for the state to teach about minority businesses, certifications, government contracts. And I learned a lot. And I was still not knowing what to do with my life during all of that. You're still in that learning process. And then, and this job, which was wonderful, was still a part-time job. It was a freelance job.
Gotcha.
And it was not paying the bills, right? And so I still needed to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? But I want to do something like this that serves and elevates, but I still wasn't sure what was it. And in one of these conferences that I go, I meet this lady who happens to be a franchise, a coach or a franchise broker. And we hit it off. And she tells me, what do you want to do? And I said, I have no clue. And so she gives me one of those questionnaires, 360s and what have you. And she goes, do you want to start your own business? I said, I want to do something for me, but I just don't know what it is. And anyway, after this discovery, it comes two things. Comes PostNet, and it comes a painting franchise company.
Nice.
And it was like interesting because it has creativity on it, right? And so she introduces me to the owners of PostNet. And the headquarters is here in Denver, It used to be on 17th and Larimer, right in downtown. And I meet these two guys who were the founders. And I was like, I am in love with this. And the concept of PostNet is, like you said, it's marketing, which is my background. It has operations because you have to, it's a storefront and you have to attend people. It offers all the little things that a small business entrepreneur needs. Sometimes they need a mailbox. Please don't use your home address to do business from home. Don't do that, right? Because it's very dangerous. If they need a notary, we do notaries. If they need fax, nobody has a fax anymore, but we offer that, right? They need a quick business card because they have an event tonight and, oh my gosh, I'm not ready, right? So we are this quick service to this particular audience that also, by the way, sometimes you just open a business, but you don't know anything about your marketing. Like, okay, how am I supposed to express what I do in a way that, what is my 30-second speech? What is my 30-second cocktail elevator speech, right? Like, what are the colors that I should do? How should I present myself? And everything that I have learned up to that point, plus my education, it put me in a position of, I can help you. I can totally help you, like, inside out, everything. I just can give you all the components that you need to go out there.
I love it.
And
it's an amazing journey.
It is an amazing journey. And then I had my team, right? There is these young ladies that are students, graphic designers. Then COVID hit. Oh my gosh, right? COVID hit, and I thought, okay, I need to close this store, unfortunately, because I just no way to support it. And I hired my daughter. She didn't know anything about graphic design. It was, another journey in itself because we didn't have a good relationship. So we were like, I was like, I don't know if I did the right thing by bringing her in. But she flourished there and she did such a great job. And clients actually now go for her and not for me. Isn't that amazing? I need to speak to Corina. I'm like, oh my gosh, and then I have these other girls that are just young women, students, and PostNet has provided the mentorship to them to grow professionally, to apply what they are learning, and to help the community.
It is.
It's just amazing.
We are back on K4CO Radio with Talia Bond.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that right now. I still want to say movie lady, but
that's right.
I'm going to reserve that for your husband.
That's right.
On that. And Talia is PostNet in Centennial. And it's really interesting. It's kind of cool how you say you help a lot of entrepreneurs because it is a huge learning curve. I mean, especially, your first one you get out there, it's all a learning process.
Yes.
There's people still learning. My uncle, he started many, many businesses and he's still learning.
Yeah.
It's always a constant learning thing. And all the projects that you do, everything from printing to designing to shipping to, you name it. What would you say is probably one of the most unique projects you've done or been involved with?
Oh my gosh. In the beginning, I have been in PostNet, or the business has been open for 7 years. Okay. Your first year, of course, is the one that you cry the most. Right?
Yep.
Yes. The first year is the one that you say, what is the one, there's this saying that said, you gotta fake it to make it. Is that what it say?
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yes.
And the first year was one of those that, oh my gosh.
What did I do?
What did I do? Yep. Fake it to make it? And so a client of mine, of course I have all these connections, right? In the government and all. And I'm not going to name the client, but the client loves me. And he goes, can you give me, I have a project and it's a 5,000 box. It's a box that is like a 5x5 box. It's a custom box. And it's a small flat, because inside of the box, they are going to put a little, one of those, what do they put the cell phones to, the socket pockets? That's what they call socket pockets, right?
Okay.
They put on the cell phones to connect your finger on it anyway.
Okay.
So it was a promotional
gotcha.
thing to the public because they were doing a survey for the government and they wanted people to respond to the survey. And so these 5,000 boxes, they were going to be mailed to the public in Denver to answer some questions. It's a reward to that. They were going to get the gift of the socket pocket inside of the box, which is a custom box. Okay. Can you do this, Talia? Absolutely, I can do this.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, I can do it.
5,000 of them.
5,000, no problem.
No
Yes,
problem.
Of course. Okay, and we, by the way, we have a
deadline of tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a deadline, and
that's another business rule. Can you do this? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
And so anyway, right? Just a minute here. And so there goes the process of design and the process of understanding the box.
Okay.
And long story short, this box, when you go to the store today and you go buy a box, any box, you will buy it flat. Is that correct?
Correct.
You go to Home Depot, you go to PostNet. I want a 5x5 box. It's flat. Okay, my client, that's what I thought I needed to provide to my client, a flat box. Well, no. The client goes, you understand that needs to be assembled, right? Like those boxes need to come already ready just for them to open, put the thing. And that was not very clear in the scope of work. And I did not want to fail my client either. I had to do this thing.
So he actually wanted these 5x5 boxes, not flat, just all.
Yes, all that.
Wow.
All, yeah.
Okay.
And
was he going to come help you?
And so what happened was
just throwing that out there because we're in the middle of doing something similar, and I'm helping.
Yes. So after understanding the real scope of the project and seeing that there was not enough time to give her these 5,000 boxes and assemble the way that she wanted. And it was very important for me as my very first big project that I provide this, that PostNet provides this 100% right, on time, at the price that it was quoted. I enlisted my 30 members of my family, to come and work at my house because we need to do it.
Oh, wow.
And so I had countless, about 2 weeks of countless hours in my house of pizza parties and wine pizza parties. And, and it was great because in the sense that, as an entrepreneur, one of the things that you find is that you have the flexibility to switch and pivot to do things the way that they want it to be done right away if you are. But because if that was done by a bigger company, they would have just said, sorry, we just, either you pay a lot extra or either you have to wait, and that's just the way it is because they have employees. But because it's a small business, I have the ability to tell my mom, my dad, my brother, my cousin, my auntie, my other cousin, my husband, my daughter, 30 people
guess what you're doing for the next 14 days.
Exactly. Gay. And then I'll feed you pizza and we have wine and we will have a good time. And so I have some pictures of that because we spent a lot of hours assembling boxes and, cutting fingers and all of that. But at the same time, it was a great family time, right, to talk. And that is when you see the support that you have because they knew that it was my first year. They knew that I needed that support and they were all behind me and it was fantastic. And so the project was completed on time. I wouldn't say within budget for me. It was for budget for the client. And she reordered boxes with me the next year, right? And it was great. And then this time because I learned, you learn the first time, then you pick yourself up and you dust yourself off and it's like, okay, I'm not going to fall this way this time again, right? I learned, so let's do it a different way.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Well, you just summed up the entrepreneurial first year in just the boxes, right? Yes. So it's one thing, I'm like you, this is my third business to start from the ground up. Yeah. And most days I go, what is going on?
Yeah.
And a lot of crying, a lot of it's the emotional roller coasters, but the peaks, I find that sometimes, at least for me personally, those aren't the learning times. It's when you kind of get into that, how are we going to do this moment into a little bit of the valley? And that's what stays in your mind 7 years later, that it was everyone that came together saying, okay, this is going to be a little bit hard, a little bit challenging, and we can do this. Yeah. And I love looking at the silver lining. That's what I think makes you so amazing, not only with PostNet, but in the community, is you are very ambitious. I can tell that right away. Very positive outlook. And how can we do this? And we're going to do it. And we're all going to get together. And I'm so glad pizza and wine was involved. I mean, where was I 7 years ago? I've done that so many times with the nonprofit work. It's like, you have to address a few thousand envelopes and we have about 2 days. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. We can do it. But I wanted to get in also a little bit because PostNet's very, I don't want to say flexible, but there's so many different services that you can offer. So not only to the individual, but for all the businesses that are out there. I mean, this is really keyed towards businesses as well. Yeah. So it's graphic design, which is amazing. You can come and design pretty much anything. Yes. Because a lot of people, you mentioned the COVID years, are rebranding. Yeah. and trying to make themselves stick out a little bit differently. Because COVID, again, we hit into that little bit of a valley, and it's like, how can we reinvent? How can we make this some positive come out of this? So, so you have graphic design. You have, of course, many marketing materials.
Yes.
Business cards, banners. I mean, go into, if you wouldn't mind, into some of those more specific services.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, right? So I'll give you a couple of stories maybe that will help also the audience understand the capabilities that we do. Some of our clients are nonprofits, for instance, and they need immediate, right away, postcards for their events because they have a gala and oops, I don't have enough. And so they will email the design that it's already prepared by them. And then they will say, I want, 100 of these. Like, can you do this today? Can you do them? And at a reasonable price. And so we do that. And sometimes they will need banners, for instance. Can you do a banner for us? Because we need to put it outside that we are open. Yes, we can. And can you put grommets on it too? And by the way, can it be done by 4:00? Yes, sure. We can work on all those things for you. Sometimes, I had, a friend of mine that actually started his attorney's office business, and he came over and he said, Talia, I know you and I know your team. I know you guys are doing a good job and I need help with my logo. And I said, okay, yep. I grabbed Kaylee because Kaylee is the one that it's one of our designers that it's just amazing. And to me, this is the part that was very amazing. Okay, I'm going to tell you, because to me it was like, I just love my team. So he sat with her and he goes, this is my vision. I want, a mountain. I'm envisioning in my logo the river that is going to go uphill, and it's like you are looking up, right? And then something with his name. And she created a logo that he loved. It was just amazing, right? And then we printed the business card, of course. Awesome. And now we're going to be working on his brochure, when he's ready. Some people will come and say, I need to do an international shipping to Ukraine. This morning I shipped something to Ukraine. The thing is that in the community, you need to know that when people ship international packages, they need to be very careful about that, because it can come back. That package may not leave the country if they didn't fill out the paperwork correctly. Okay, they may get in trouble for trying to ship something they are not this not allowed by the country to go. And so, if you're listening and if you ship international, please make sure to come visit us at PostNet, because we are very experienced in filling out the forms and understanding what goes and what doesn't and how it needs to go as well. Because the packaging is also important for international shipping. What else I can tell you about PostNet that we do? We recently also have done stickers. We print stickers. My team got a training on large format. I sent them to PostNet headquarters to get training on how to install big format prints. And when they came back, they were so excited and they told me, Talia, we need to get this machine. Like, you need to buy this machine and this other machine. They gave me a list. And I said, okay. Let me get another loan from the bank and, let's just do this. But you know what? That empowerment to them has been amazing, because they were like thriving with that machine, right? So they design a wallpaper for the whole. So come visit me, because you'll see the wall. It has a design on them that they design, they printed, they install it. They did it all. And they are young ladies, my size. Yeah. Like, how do you do this? And the same thing for our doors. They design all the window clings outside. They printed it. They install it. They're amazing. So creativity and projects is something that if people want to dive in, definitely we can help them with that. We also have printed or work with some brides that needed their save the dates, their wedding printouts. Either we help them with the design, or sometimes they already have the design and they said, can you just help me print in a very nice paper? And because we are printers, we know about cardstocks, the beauty of this is going to look great on a linen paper. It's going to look great on a shimmery kind of cardstock. And they, because they have this taste on color and design, they become the consultants for our clients because we tell them this is what is going to look for you. Elevate your art. You just don't do it on a 20-pound paper, right? Unless it's like something that you must have black and white. But we also do that. We do bindery. Some people will come and say, can you just print out this booklet for me and then coil it and put a letterhead in the back and a clear thing on the top. And I need just to have a little event and need to give hands out. So we do that too.
You do. I mean, it's amazing. I have all of your services pulled up. And for those of you, again, just jumping on Talia Bond with PostNet, I'm going to give you the website. So it's postnetcentennial.com. And I literally just pulled down, I have my computer in front of me, from design, print, send, etc. I mean, the amount of services that you offer is incredible. I mean, if you are a small business or an individual, you have to go and check this out. And it's stuff that I wouldn't think of. Passport photos. Yeah. I mean, that is a game changer right there. Yes. That's amazing. A virtual mailbox is, like you said, very important. A lot of people still are working from home. Yeah. So if you need another place to have your information sent, but I mean, just with the 3D printing, banners, brochures, business cards, calendars. Yes. I mean, the holidays are coming up, and if you all have clients, I know we do, and say a lovely thank you to the people that you work with. Invitations, labels, newsletters, that goes out all the time. Posters, I love it. You guys are truly kind of cover all of it. And shredding. I just went through a shredding thing with my kiddo, so that was exciting.
And allow me, please, just let me add this. This is also a service that we are trying to promote. It's the recycling of electronics. As long as it's a cell phone or a tablet. So don't bring your TV that is, one of those big boxes. Please don't. We don't have room for that.
Just small electronics.
But small electronics like computers, tablets, and cell phones. You know that you are constantly upgrading, or your kids are upgrading, and then what are you doing with that old device that still has data inside? You want to make sure that you leave it somewhere that it's going to be properly clean and dispose. Okay.
Yeah, it used to be you could like trade these in. Not anymore. They're just like, no, we don't want them.
Yeah,
exactly. They trash them. It's so unfortunate. Yeah. Are you also accepting wires, like the cables?
No cables.
No cables. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I will be bringing you some items.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, they just become very heavy paperweights. So, so those of you that have old computers and phones, I know that you do. Please go to PostNet. It is in Centennial.
Yep.
I love it. Well, we talked about unique products. Thank you for mentioning that you were offering that.
And fingerprint service. What is that?
Yeah. Isn't that services? A fun thing? That's because so many stories on my fingerprint
I need some services on my fingerprints. I don't know what, but what can I get?
Well, some companies want to make sure you're legit.
Oh,
and some companies...
Background check stuff. Gotcha.
And some companies, even though you might be an employee of that company for like 20 years, they still want to check on you every other year.
Right.
Because you never know what happened between those two.
Yeah, exactly. I don't tell my boss when I do something. Never
That's
mind.
Right.
I'm going to send him to you.
Send it to me. I'll give you a clean bill. Like, he's so good.
That's right. All it takes is another 20 to you, right?
Yeah. Just don't say.
Well.
We're going to take another quick little music break. For those of you, again, just tuning in, Talia Bond, such a beautiful woman on the inside and out. She is the owner of PostNet, which is in Centennial off County Line Road. Their phone number is 720-722-0525. If you want to give them a ring and need anything for you individually or business-wise with printing, designing, sending things, The holidays are here, ladies and gentlemen. So get on it right now.
Ship early.
Ship early,
Yes,
please. That's so crazy. So we're going to take a quick music break and then we'll be right back. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to an exclusive interview here on K4CO Radio. We have been chatting with Talia Bond with PostNet, and it is here in Centennial off County Line Road, and it's been such a pleasure to chat with you. You have an amazing business. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about shipping, because holidays are here, and it's almost the end of October, which is so amazing.
Yes.
Why we have all the big holidays at the end,
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't spread it out.
Yes.
And it is always mass panic, a week before Christmas to try and get out. So go see Talia tomorrow.
Yes.
Start shipping now.
Why does it need to be that? I'll tell you a secret. In order to stand out sometimes and make it more memorable for your loved ones or your clients, don't wait until Christmas to send something. Do it in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because
Or
you were
March or
saying,
May.
Or March, yeah.
Yes.
But now that Thanksgiving is coming up, you can send, a gift. Actually, we are preparing a gift for one of our favorite clients for Thanksgiving. We're not going to give it to him in Christmas because guess what happens? Sometimes there is a lot of an overload. I hope people will get a lot of gifts this Christmas, but then it's so many that then you forget, right? Like, okay, who gave me what? But if you get that very first gift ahead of time, then you become more memorable, right? And so you can send something really nice and you can create even a custom card, thank you Christmas card with us at PostNet, with your name on it, your logo on it, or just pictures. Why go to Shutterfly? They are actually more expensive than PostNet. I checked them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know what I think? I think that what it is that people want fast, quick writing in there, right? So they go to the computer, it's right there. I'm just going to upload my picture and then I'm just going to click on send and I'm going to click on pay and you are done within 15 minutes or so, right? But what I notice is that actually it's more expensive. You don't know really the end product and how it's going to come because you have not seen the car stock. You haven't
felt it. You haven't.
Yes,
exactly.
you don't know what really is going to come out. And I had, not a lot, but I had a couple of client stories that will say, oh, I ordered this on Vistaprint and they came out wrong. And now guess what? I need it like right now, right? Can you help me, PostNet, right? And so don't do that. I mean, use your local resources, support your small business. And it's just not supporting the small business just for the heck of being a small business. It's because, guess what? You're a small business that is right in the neighborhood. They know what they're doing. They are experienced. They are amazing. And they are going to call you by your name. So you're not going to go into the computer and it's just a transactional thing. Actually, you are going to feel that you got a friend. And we love friends.
And a lot of that is that personal touch right there because, what if you have a question, something's going wrong? It's like, can you just call Shutterfly? Probably not.
Probably not.
Email us. We'll get back to you whenever we can.
Yes.
I mean, that's what service is now with big,
big
companies.
It's just the way it is. So I guess the question is, how do you want to, what do you want to experience when you do something like as simple as holiday cards or Christmas cards, right? What do you want to experience when you do these things, when you put your money somewhere, like that you are putting your money within your own community? Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So I shop local and becoming an entrepreneur actually gives you this elevated, right, feeling of, I am not going to go to these big companies, to big chains anymore. I'd rather support the small businesses. But I guess you have to be one to understand that to that level. So to anyone, if you are not a small business, it's okay. But we're going to call you by your name when you come to PostNet Centennial, and you're going to be our friend, and you're going to leave smiling, right? I don't know if you will be smiling in front of your computer, but you'll be smiling with us. And so anyway, yeah, with shipping is that the other situation that I experience every year since I have been 7 years at PostNet, and it's every year almost the same, which is this. The community will somehow find us, right? Because it has been a journey to create, to make sure the community knows that we are there and that we ship. It's difficult sometimes. They come like, I didn't know you were here. Or I will get questions like, what is a PostNet? Right? That's what I get. And so I have to then explain, I wish I knew that you were here, because why do I want to be in line at the postal office during Christmas and waiting for an hour or 2 hours to be waiting on, when I can come to PostNet and it's in and out and I leave with a smile?
Yes.
Why do I want to do that? So yeah, why do you want to do that? So come to us, because you don't want to be, time is precious for all of us. And we want to make sure that you're being waited on with a smile, you're being taken care of right away, and then you go and do the rest of your things, right? And the other piece of it is that there is no store actually around here in this neighborhood or in this community that works with all the carriers at the same time. So either you go to FedEx and you get FedEx, or UPS, you get UPS, or the postal office, but with us, you get all the carriers within one store, and then you get the best deal out of all of them. The same thing with, I hear stories with clients that will say, I need to buy this book of stamps right now. And yeah, we have them, right? Like, here it is. Oh, what do you mean? I don't need to go to the post office? No, here it is, and then they come with it, the little images of Christmas, or, Santa Claus, or the flowers. So you can have all those things, immediately at your fingertips when you come to the store, and then you just go, the rest of your day. And you can either go have a steak next door at the Longhorn Steakhouse, or, go across the street to the mall and do your shopping. But, come visit us. We will be very, very happy to create our business. It's a relationship-based business. Okay. All of our clients, have been with us for all these years, and they become part of our family. So that is why it's easy for them to call and say, oops, I had this event and I need this right away. Because you're not going to do that over the phone to Vistaprint, right? Or to whoever. But because the relationship stays there, then we go above and beyond with your friends. Because guess what? You want to do business with your friends. You will support your friends, right? Yes. And no matter what, you still want to do business with your friends. So that is what you will get with us. Yeah.
I love that. Well, from one, entrepreneurs to you. I mean, I love it when you said that, right? When you walked in too, off air, it was they're our family. And you mentioned, so you've been the owner for 7 years and you've had 99% retention rate.
Yes.
That is incredible.
I know.
I don't think I've ever heard that high of a retention from a small business before.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing to have kept them all of these years. You are doing a lot of things really right.
Thank you.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it's how you treat people when they walk in. If you care for them genuinely, and that's what I do. I love about you. It's amazing. I've met you really recently and I hear your name all over the community. I was like, this woman is amazing. Yeah. It's just, you give back all the time. Thank you. You're so involved and really reaching out to people. So that's a testament to you as not only a business owner, but an amazing person.
Thank you.
Which goes a long way in the world. So
yeah, I feel like finally, right, as you grow as an entrepreneur, there is a balance or an alignment between who you are as a person at home in who you are as an entrepreneur, right? And in the beginning of your journey, they are almost like two different people, perhaps. But as you continue to grow in your business, then the alignment comes along. And so I am there where I remember being here in the beginning, and I will either get honest help or I will either get good luck, right? Yeah. And when I remember those feelings are so distinct. So when I meet new people, especially in my community, because I belong to the chamber and I network and I meet these new people that are coming in, they don't know anybody. So they feel shy. They're like, okay, and my job is I remember myself there. And you know what? No, you're not going to feel like that with me. So I'm going to grab you, I'm going to hold you, and then I'm going to tell you, come over, and we're going to have a drink, and you're going to be my best friend, and we're going to work together. And because that is the way that, you become stronger, right? And so probably that's why they say, oh my gosh, she's everywhere, or because it's just,
No, you're so friendly and inviting. That's wonderful. Man, I needed you, 10 years ago to come hold me and say it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. We're going to get through this.
I remember a friend of mine that started her business too. It was a storefront. Storefronts are really hard, as you know, because you sign a lease, as you know. Yes. And whether there's business or not, you are still responsible for that lease. And so she was freaking out, right? Because the first year, as you know, it's just a lot of blood, tears, and punches. And I told her, she was like, I think I'm gonna close. I think I'm gonna, no. And I said, you know what? Is when you think you are gonna quit that you're not. That moment that you're thinking, I am quitting, that is when you're not gonna quit. And she's still in business, right? It's just those moments that you feel like you feel so despair, right? You're like, I just need to quit. But actually, those are the moments when your internal thing comes up and says, I can do moving this forward. Yeah. So,
we all have those moments.
Yes. I know.
Sometimes every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the roller coaster, very much.
That's why I have always a good bottle of wine next to me.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, have something to help you along the journey.
Just relax a little bit. Yeah.
Well, thank you. This has been such a joy to chat with you. Again, we've been speaking with Talia Bond. I love it. I'm going to say that.
Yes.
There you go.
It's so lovely with PostNet. And it's 9615 East County Line Road in Centennial.
Right. Yeah.
And again, the phone number is 720-722-0525. And the website, which is great, please go check out her website because this is amazing, the amount of services that you all offer. If you need something in the next 3 months, year, today, go check this out. It's postnetcentennial.com. And then the email, if they want to get in touch with you as well, is co152@postnet.com. Anything else that you wanted to mention before we sign off?
Thank you for having me. This has been great. And thank you for allowing me to talk so much.
Of course. I love it when people actually do that because it shows the passion and the ambition and the enthusiasm that you have, which is wonderful. It translates completely. I mean, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That is true.
And you get up happy and you get to go, especially you love your staff. When you said that, I'm like, I love who I get to work with.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to go into work and to serve the community.
Yeah.
I mean, life is pretty good.
Life is good. Well, I hope to see you guys. There's going to be an event tonight.
Yes, so. I will see you in a few hours. Right. That's amazing. Thank you for your involvement in the community, too.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right.
I'm going to leave it with you.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, thank you very much again. Really enjoyed it. This is actually my favorite part of the job is interviews and really getting to know people and everything. So I really appreciate it. Definitely check it out, PostNet. And Sarah gave you all the information. 720-722-0525. Soon you will see this interview on our YouTube page. Give it about a week or so if you ever want to come back to it. And if you just missed the first part of it, just go to K4CO Radio YouTube, and we will get you back to our normal programming. Make sure to listen to Kev on the radio. That starts in 1 hour from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Have a wonderful rest of the day.